Welcome to the Pinch to Zoom podcast, the show where we zoom in on the latest tech news, products, and trends. I'm Stetson.
I'm Gabe.
And in this episode, we're talking about some of the best holiday tech gifts to get the techie in your life. We're going to be covering gifts under $50, $100, $250, $500, and $1,000. We have some great suggestions for you. And before we get into it, we want to plug...
We have an announcement.
Yeah.
Big announcement. We're actually going to be doing some more best ofs to wrap up the year of 2020 with a best of tech with phones, drones, cameras, smart homes. I think there's a couple more categories possibly. And we'll be doing these as standalone episodes released every Saturday, starting, I think, on the Saturday.
November 28th.
Yeah, right after Thanksgiving, the first Saturday after Thanksgiving, go until the end of the year. And if you want to get early access to those, get them a week early, you can actually go check out our new Patreon. This is our first, attempt to possibly make this podcast a non-net negative on our finances and, at least break even. And if you appreciate what we do and you want to get some early access to stuff and some other perks, go check it out. We also have another bonus episode that is going to be free, and that's for the new Apple event coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday, November 10th, and we're super excited to cover what Apple has to share with their new ARM Macs. But without further ado, let's dive into this episode, starting off with quick news. So Gabe, roll that intro.
Quick news. Welcome to Quick News, the latest new tech news, and what's up next in tech. First off, we have still some new products trickling out. Usually tech companies are trying to get them out in September and October so that they're out plenty of time in advance for the holiday season, but still a couple releases coming out here and there, and you can still order these products possibly and get them for Christmas. So first off, honestly, this one is something so outside of my league, but so interesting. It is the Raspberry Pi 400.
You can eat it, so it's a dessert.
Yeah, it's actually a dessert. We're actually starting a new dessert podcast segment here. No, what this is Raspberry Pi is basically this super expensive computer that has been manufactured for a while, different versions of it. It's really for kind of DIY type people. I've seen people use it for everything from like making homemade contraptions and stuff to, really it's sky's the limit. If you're into coding, into computers at all, Raspberry Pi is the way to go. They now just released this new one, however, which is interesting and piqued my interest because it's built into a keyboard. So you get a keyboard and the whole computer is just in the keyboard.
That's crazy. I mean, would that make sense? Like, could you just buy a keyboard computer in the future?
Honestly, I'm thinking Apple, this should be their next like real different product, would be like the MacBook Key or MacBook keyboard. And it can be used wirelessly over your Wi-Fi onto your smartphone, onto your Apple TV, onto your Mac computer, actually, but it's a whole different computer.
I love it. It's great for education, great for tinkering, great for a lot of tech and coding projects.
And only $70 starts at.
Yeah, it depends actually which model you buy. I'm seeing one here that's $65, $10 off. So
very affordable, though, basically, is with this. So, easy to pick this up if you want to, get into some DIY computer stuff or just want to check this out. Moving on, next thing we got new is something that's very exciting, very near and dear to my heart. Actually, it's not in the same room as me right now, but it's the DJI Mini 2, their new drone and the follow-up to the Mavic Mini. And they got rid of the name Mavic, but essentially this is just a follow-up to that drone. It adds a couple new features. It adds 4K video, which is not really the biggest thing, honestly, because it's still basically the same sensor. It adds, more importantly, a new transmission system, which is OcuSync 2.0, and a new controller. So the range goes from really awful with the current. I was just showing you the other day.
Yeah, it uses Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, the original Mavic Mini used enhanced Wi-Fi, and I was flying it around our apartment area where there's tons of people with Wi-Fi, tons of signals and stuff, and I could barely get 200 feet away or so. With this new Mini 2, I can get easily 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet range. Like, it's comparable almost to the Mavic Air 2, not quite, because I think the Mavic Air 2 is OcuSync 3.0, but still huge jump, at least double or triple the range of the original Mavic Mini. And then the third thing that you're going to get with this new Mini 2 is some just smarter features. So you get like panorama, you get raw photos, and general just improvements overall. Flight time still around the 30-minute mark. It's like increased by 3 minutes. So
And this is still using the DJI Fly app, correct?
Yes, yeah. DJI Fly app is going to be the app for all DJI drones going forward, including their Pro products once they release the new Mavic 3 Pro in the next year.
That's interesting. And speaking of kind of cameras, it looks like we had something new from Insta360.
Well, hold on. We got to give prices for this one. That's the important
that's true.
thing. So where the Mavic Mini originally started at $400, this one now starts at $450. And if you get the Fly More combo, it goes for $600. So a little more expensive, but
also a better drone.
Yeah, really, it is a better drone because the main reason I would say is just that new controller.
Yeah,
absolutely. A new transmission system, new controller, and overall better drone. As you were saying, yeah, we got another camera type thing, which is the Insta360 One X2. And this is the follow-up to their One X and kind of sideways from their One R. Basically, this camera is a 360-degree camera, as Insta360 is known for. And the big thing with this one is it has 5K or 5.7K video, I think, actually, in full 360, which sounds really impressive, but when you break it down, isn't as impressive because with any 360 camera, you're not going to use the whole frame.
That's correct. You kind of crop in on what you want, or you can kind of use a large portion of the frame. But still, I think it's good improvements. Insta360 has awesome image stabilization and some cool smart features that will kind of track subjects of interest and create some cool effects while you're editing. And they have a really cool application that they're saying uses AI editing for those effects.
Yeah, this is the Insta360 app on your phone. It's really great. It does take a ton of processing time. So if you have an older smartphone, I really wouldn't recommend any of these 360 cameras yet. Wait till you upgrade your phone because any of the processing stuff is just you don't want to sit there for 20 minutes or so. But anyways, rounding out the features of this new camera is the fact that it's waterproof. So that's nice to 10 meters. It has a touchscreen on the handle, which is new for this line of their cameras. And otherwise, it's basically, just continuation of the stuff that they've had in all of their other 360 cameras with the flow state stabilization, all their really cool shots that you can do, which if you haven't check out their YouTube channel. They show tutorials on some of these shots, like the Sonic one or the Walking Planet, I think they call the other one. Very cool, interesting stuff. It starts for $450. So really, I still think these 360 cameras are kind of like if you have, already a main camera and maybe a GoPro and you want something that can kind of spice up your videos, this is really what the 360 camera seems to me to be for, because its ability to, do some cool either little planet shots or whatever to just make your videos stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, I love their invisible selfie stick mode. And what I'm also seeing here is Ghost Town, which is a feature where you shoot a 360-degree time lapse, and the camera app will actually edit out all of the people, which could make this great for traveling and capturing some beautiful...
the Ghost Town is just one of the many. Like, they have dozens of different, they call them smart shots or trick shots, kind of, that are these really just creative uses of AI and the fact that this camera is capturing always 360 degrees to do some cool editing features. So go check that out if you've been in the market for a 360 camera. That's the new go-to best one that you can get. Moving on, next thing, we got the Lenovo Smart Clock, which...
Yeah, this is kind of a small announcement, so we'll make this a small segment. Basically, if you remember, I think it was last year, Lenovo released a sort of smart clock with the Google Assistant baked into it. This is sort of a version 2 of that. It's got like a tap to snooze. You can also wake up and say stop to stop your alarm. It displays time and temperature and date, things like that.
It's kind of cool, I think. I mean, I was always interested in, the Amazon Echo Dot, I think it was.
Sure.
The one that had the
clock on it?
The Dot Touch. I don't know what they called it. But yeah, there was one that actually had a clock and little screen on it, circular screen. But I heard it wasn't the best experience. So this looks a little more simplified and more kind of like what Amazon has done actually now with the Amazon Echo Dot Display Edition, which it just literally has just numeric numbers and no actual screen on the surface of the speaker. So this is kind of like that, but a little more features where you can get weather, you can get, time, the day, date, stuff like that. So go check it out for $50, I think it is.
It's $50. You may actually consider picking up a dedicated smart home device like the Google Nest Mini or an Amazon Echo Dot. I just feel like the smart features are going to be better, and it seems like this alarm clock is kind of mixed.
Yeah, and if you're looking for an alarm clock, actually, this is better than just setting your phone by the bed.
Yeah, that is true. I think a lot of people can think, all right, my phone can just do it, but all of a sudden your phone's in the same room as you as you're sleeping, and it can turn into more of a distraction than you would like.
And like a bright screen at night right next to you too.
Not so great. So this is one option for that.
And the other thing, we had not really new products, but iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 Max went on pre-order the past week, as well as the HomePod mini. iPhone 12s will be arriving this Friday. That is the 13th, yep. And then the HomePod minis will be arriving, I think it's the 17th?
I think
16th, yeah. And so a little spaced out. I'm excited about the HomePod mini. I've pre-ordered it, but I might be canceling it because the main reason I am pre-ordering it is, and trying to get it is to use it as like a HomeKit center. But there's rumors we might talk about a little later on about what Apple might be releasing, and that might be a new Apple TV, which can also act as a HomeKit center. And if that's the case, I'm going to be probably going for that.
That would be the better move. So that was kind of the new products. Jumping into some news here, we had some news from Facebook. They are jumping into the cloud gaming landscape, but also focusing on mobile games. And so this is kind of interesting where, we have a lot of companies jumping into cloud gaming. Microsoft with Xbox Game Pass. We have Google with Google Stadia. We have Amazon with Luna. And now it looks like Facebook is joining the bandwagon as well with their cloud gaming service. And this is just going to be another option for consumers to consider when they're looking at cloud services. But really, I think you need like excellent internet. That should be like a priority number one.
Well, it's interesting that it is just mobile gaming, so it probably is less, bandwidth intensive.
That's probably true. Yeah, and I'd be curious to see how it works with iPhone. I know that there's been some conflicts with other companies trying to work on iPhone as well, and Amazon had to actually go around that and make a progressive web app for their streaming service. But yeah, it'll be interesting, and it will kind of compete, I guess, kind of against Apple Arcade. In other Facebook news, WhatsApp has now introduced disappearing messages. I was trying to think of a clever pun there, but that's coming to iPhone in WhatsApp. Now we have some YouTube news, which is something we kind of don't cover because there's not typically a huge amount of news. But Gabe, I think you discovered this and it was kind of an interesting find.
Yeah, that the song "Baby Shark."
Okay, we're just gonna stop you right there.
Get it in everyone's head, because that's been watched or listened to 7.04 billion times.
That's crazy,
making it the most listened to or watched YouTube video in the history currently.
What this reminded me of is Gangnam Style, which was released in July 15th, 2012, and was the first ever YouTube video to surpass 1 billion views. And it did that in just 6 short months on December 21st, 2012. And something that I was interested in is like, considering the Baby Shark video is only 2 minutes, 14 seconds versus Gangnam Style and some of the other videos, like, I wonder what video doesn't necessarily have the most views, but has the highest watch time.
True. That is, probably something longer. I would imagine something that has like millions of views, like some ASMR thing or sound thing that's like 3-4 hours long and has like 60 million views. That probably is.
Yeah, maybe like some meditation or mindfulness practices. Yep. That's really smart. Next up, we have some news from Apple. This kind of will dovetail nicely into their upcoming event. But basically, the iPhone 12 mini and 12 Pro Max, again, they're going on sale this Friday. And the embargo just
they're already on pre-ordered sale.
Yes, pre-orders are live. They're being released and arriving to customers this Friday. And the embargo for reviews actually just lifted. So you can kind of get more information, particularly on the new camera sensor in the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
I think it's so funny. I've seen reviews of people iPhone 12 mini versus iPhone 12 Max.
That's like not the comparison people should be making.
But people are just doing it because they're coming out at the same time and people are looking for them. And that's it. It seems like such a wrong thing to do, but I guess it is kind of right because the 12 mini is the same as the 12 and the 12 Pro Max is the best phone they have. So it's like, do you go with their budget one or their really pro one?
Yeah, but there's also like a $400 price difference, right? Like who's really honestly comparing those two options? Yeah, and also
the fact that really most people are honestly, I feel like, making their decision based on size.
Yeah, like what's more comfortable to use. But either way, you can learn more online right now. Something interesting also related to the iPhone 12 is it's now harder to repair. The reason it's harder to repair is Apple has implemented a system where iFixit did a teardown, and they discovered the camera module. This is actually in collaboration with, I think, another repair shop in Australia, where they did extensive testing. They swapped components and they found out that the camera module needs to be paired to the iPhone with a software process. So this makes it a little bit more challenging for third-party repair shops who may not necessarily be using genuine Apple parts to complete repairs.
That's, I mean, how it should be a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings on this. Like, on one hand, yes, it does make the iPhones more challenging to repair. On the other hand, I think Apple handles iPhone repairs probably the best out of any company. Like, if you can, like, how do Android users get their phones repaired, right? Like, there's no Samsung store. I feel like I could just walk into, like I could an Apple store, and in 2 hours have my phone completely fixed with Apple genuine parts and a 90-day warranty on that. I just don't think Android manufacturers are offering the same kind of service. So to me, it's a mixed bag where I appreciate the convenience Apple offers, but I do understand their actions may kind of go against the right to repair and those kinds of movements. And finally, rounding off the Apple news, the MagSafe Duo charger got its price revealed, but no release date. It is going to be a $130 charger that will use MagSafe for iPhone and have a little puck to charge your Apple Watch, and it kind of folds up and is kind of nice. The next feature, Gabe, you've been doing a lot of really great photo editing in Photoshop and I think Lightroom as well. I actually just canceled my Lightroom subscription.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
to move over to Google Photos. Don't judge me too hard. It works for me. But this was an interesting take where Google may be putting the editing features or specific editing features of Google Photos behind a paywall. Gabe, what do you think of this? And were you able to see what was going to be put behind the paywall?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like originally they thought all of the features or like the more advanced features. Now it just looks like stuff like ColourPop, which is this filter, which will be behind a color wall potentially. And I imagine they're going to be releasing maybe more filters in the future that will be behind a paywall. I think it does make sense for them. I mean, why not give people more of an incentive to,
upgrade to Google One?
Google One, and I mean, already there's so many incentives to it, but if they can come up with incentives that are things other than storage and I guess what else is there?
They have storage. They have some perks. So if you go for the higher tier plans, you can get up to 10% cash back from store purchases. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. A lot of photo apps and camera apps, you actually purchase the camera app and then you will purchase filters as add-ons. So this kind of makes a lot of sense to me. And to be clear, the ColourPop filter basically makes the background black and white and the subject in color. So that's why it's a ColourPop. And for depth photos, anything you take in portrait mode, this color filter will still be available for free. And then for photos without depth information, that's when Google needs to use AI processing to determine that subject. And I think that's why they're leaning towards putting it behind their paywall. But a Google One subscription is only $2 a month for 100 gigabytes. So honestly, not too bad. The last bit of news I wanted to share is from Mint Mobile. I use them as my personal carrier. And this is kind of cool. It just broke today that their new unlimited plan, they snuck in a little N in there. So it's unlimited, right?
Very clever.
Clever pun. And what they're doing is basically if a customer signed up for this new plan and they used less data per month at the end of their 3-month initial sign up, Mint will email them and let them know their average data usage and then recommend a cheaper plan based on their usage. So a plan that still meets their needs and saves them money. I don't think I remember the last time a cell phone carrier actively reached out to subscribers to try and save them money. So
no, that's something that doesn't happen.
I think it's a really cool move. And that's going to be it for kind of the quick news. What's up next? We have, of course, the special Apple event.
Yeah, let's just get into this. The Apple event, this really is their biggest event of the year. I know we always love their iPhone events and their iPad events and their watch events and WWDC, but this year it's been a bit of a meh, I feel like, personally, on these hardware events. So now we have...
I completely disagree, by the way.
Right,
I'm ecstatic for the new iPhones. I thought it was a great year for iPad Air, the new redesign, Apple Watch Series 6.
We already know you're an Apple fanboy.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid over here, and it's delicious, and I love it.
So anyways, when I get excited about an Apple event, then you know it's a big deal.
It means it was a slow week for DJI. That's what it means.
That's what it means. All right, you got me. But that is what we're looking at is the ARM event coming up, which, if you don't know, it's not Apple, switching from leg day to focus on their ARMs. It's the new processors that are going to be built in-house or by Apple themselves, not by Intel, not by AMD. And what that means is, Apple's big thing is that they make their hardware and the software. So this is yet another component of their devices which will be built by them. So there's going to be even better integration is what they're promising.
This is huge. So basically what ARM is a standard for instructions, and Apple is licensing the right to use that instruction set, which is very small, and it's typically optimized for mobile platforms. And by allowing Apple to build their own processors, they can create kind of what they're doing for their other devices, which is create an entire system on a chip, which is where you have one component that has your processor, your graphics card, your RAM, everything you need all on one chip. This reduces the number of components you need that connect them. This greatly increases throughput and speed and performance. And in Apple's case, they can do some serious optimizations to really make these components work for them, their software applications. And these new Macs could be super powerful and battery efficient. I'm excited to see what they have in store.
Yeah, so what we're expecting to see is just laptops because, as Stetson mentioned, it's very mobile focused. Like the idea is it's more of a mobile processing environment and, smaller, better battery life and stuff. So that fits their laptops better, at least for the time being. I eventually think we will see desktops with ARM processors. But for the time being, it looks like we'll be expecting a 16-inch MacBook Pro, 13-inch MacBook Pro, and a 13-inch MacBook Air. I really wanted to see them revive the MacBook line and kind of bring that back, but looks like they're realizing they should probably keep that dead. So yeah, we'll see those tomorrow, and that will be exciting to see. I personally would, even if I had, not upgraded, well, actually, if I hadn't upgraded 2 years ago, I might be more interested in looking at these laptops. But personally, I think it's a first gen. Let's wait, till the next generation to really get rid of those first gen issues.
Honestly, I think the performance will be great. I think the limitations will be the compatibility of these laptops with certain software applications that just don't get updated from day one.
That too, yeah. Like the laptop isn't going to be useful right off the get-go. So why not wait another year or whenever they update it again to get better components and, bugs ironed out, but also then have the software all working right.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be Apple's apps. It's really going to be like third-party applications.
Adobe, stuff like that.
Yeah. They'll need to work closely with Apple to bring those up to speed. And the other thing we could see is macOS Big Sur. So this is Apple's newest operating system for the Macs.
We've already seen it.
That's true. We've seen it.
People are using it, beta testing.
But now we could get an official release date made available. And
which it's weird that it's this late this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure is a big change for Mac. I mean, a huge design refresh.
True.
They changed up a lot of the interface. So I think it's big for Apple. They want to do it right, and they want to make sure everything works before they release it. And I think that's kind of why.
We also might see maybe something about AirPods Studios, or maybe them teasing something with their Air Tiles. Honestly, I don't think so. I think that's all going to be pushed to February at this point, or March. The other thing I did mention earlier, though, Apple TV. I think we might see this because this might, I don't know, I'm torn if we'll see it or not, but I think we will probably see something about it because they haven't updated the Apple TVs since back in 2017, and even the top-of-the-line Apple TV with 4K is currently only using an iPhone 8 processor. So with the big push that Apple has done on gaming with their Apple Arcade, I think that they could release an Apple TV, and it'd be perfect time right before the holidays.
Now's the time to do that. Yeah, absolutely. On the flip side, they also just started integrating AirPlay with a lot of TV manufacturers, so it's built into newer TVs. So maybe they don't even need to introduce.
But I think that's why they'll really push the whole gaming thing and the better processors and everything.
Yeah, sure. I would love to see it either way. Speaking of gaming, the other two products coming out this week, we have Xbox Series X launching November 10th, same day as the Apple keynote, and the PS5 coming out November 12th. Unfortunately, if you didn't pre-order these, you're basically not getting them. They sold out so quickly, and I think the availability is going to be so limited. So
I would say consolidation prize, though, if you didn't pre-order these and you're not going to be getting them till like next year or whenever, don't worry. I've already heard many reviewers complaining about how there's a lack of games on mainly the Xbox platform, but even the PS5, there's really not a lot of games that are made for the new consoles. And even if they are made for it, they're not even taking advantage of all the new, features and the ray tracing or the new like PlayStation controller with all the feedback and haptic stuff that it has built in. So I still think the best way to do with a console is, wait a year, wait 2 years, even 3 years. That's when you're going to get the best experience out of the console, and you're going to get a less price. So
Yeah, best value,
Yeah.
all
But
the
if-
games you want.
But if you
already
did
out.
pre-order and you're super excited, awesome. I get excited about every DJI product I order, every GoPro product or whatever. You got to have something that makes you happy and, makes you excited to actually spend money.
And with the stay-at-home, I guess, mindset, now is a great time to be diving into a game console.
For sure.
And that's going to be it for quick news. Let's dive into our recommendations for our holiday gift
Yeah,
guide.
let me actually just throw some background music, some Christmas music or something on in the background here to introduce this segment. This is basically, we're going to be talking about and giving our recommendations of what's the best tech gifts to get this holiday season. It's our holiday tech gift guide. I guess this is our first time doing it, really. Did we do one last year?
I honestly can't remember.
I'm going to say it's our second annual. Just sounds a lot better. Sounds a lot more established or something. And we'll be we'll be covering all the price ranges from under $50 to under $1,000, if you really want to treat someone. But let's start down at the bottom. I guess that's the most common one. And it is a little hard with tech gifts to get something under $50. I will throw in for under $50, a gift card is always a good.
That's a
one to
great
get.
place to start.
Apple just rolled out this year that they just have one gift card that works across all their stuff. So you can get, one that is iTunes, Apple Store, App Store. What other stuff do they have? Apple Arcade.
Any purchase you can
Anything
make
Apple.
with Apple, this gift card will cover it.
You'll also see on Black Friday a lot of Xbox cards and Nintendo cards that are on discount, maybe $10 off, $20 off. So look for those potentially, or PlayStation even. Those are good areas to look because digital goods are a lot cheaper to buy than hardware goods. So if you get someone a gift card to get that, they can use it for anything. Get them a Fortnite gift card, I guess. Do they have those?
I don't know.
They probably do.
That game is like having some issues right
But
now.
that's in general for under $50, even $100 or so, you could still get someone a gift card. People always would love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, you can even get yourself a gift card. Like if you have an iCloud subscription that renews monthly.
I did do that actually when they
Right?
had it on sale. What is this? $40 for a $50 gift card on Prime Day. I was like, yep, gonna get that.
It's not even that much, but it adds up. All right, let's start off with the under 50 category. Gabe, do you want to go first here with an item you had?
Yeah, this one, I would say first thing off is charging stuff. It's a broad category, but basically, this could be a little bit of a selfish gift so that your friend or whoever they are stops stealing your stuff. The person that's always
Gabe,
asked.
is this targeted? Do you need me to give something back to you?
No, I always know there's like someone who's always like, hey, can I just get your external charger, your cord or whatever? So if, it's one way to notice, hey, maybe this is a good gift for this person if they're always borrowing your external battery or your USB-C charging cord or whatever. That's a great gift for them. I would say for external batteries and, Anker's a very good brand. USB wall chargers, look for maybe some fast chargers out there that are either USB-C or there's some that even have a USB regular port and a USB-C port, which is just super helpful. And like Anker, Aki, Rav Power are some good brands. And then charging cords or cables, go for the braided Kevlar
Yeah,
ones are the
absolutely.
best ones to get.
Those are great. They're flexible. They don't get tangled. Durable. They last
They
a
hold
really
up
long
well.
time.
And for under $50, you can get some great stuff. Maybe even a wireless charging pad or something.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I actually love, you have one that's by Aki. It actually has a battery bank built into it.
No, that one's actually by Anker. Sorry.
Oh, my mistake.
They put their names so close together letter-wise. But yeah, that's by Anker. It has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery built into it, which isn't really enough to charge a phone quite fully, but it's
Helps out in a pinch, and it's super
if you're like,
convenient.
oh, I need to keep my phone charging, but also want to, go take it somewhere, you don't have to go find your external power pack and plug it in. You can just keep going.
I wholeheartedly endorse that gift idea. What I had in mind was some smart speakers. So we have the Google Nest Mini. That is usually $50, but it's just been on a perpetual $30 sale right now. So $30 for one of those. I've got two of them and love both of them. And the new Echo Dot came out is $50 as well.
That's already, they've advertised that will be on sale for Black Friday. So,
Probably around $30 too.
yeah.
Getting
something like
those
that.
in there. And I guess I have one more item that I thought of, a smart water bottle. And the reason I'm suggesting
Okay.
this is people need to stay hydrated. Everyone's working at home. You don't get that break of going to the water cooler. And so, something like a smart water bottle can help remind you to drink and can also track how much you're drinking. And I think I personally would benefit from
A smart flask.
Yeah. I think I benefit from this, and there's some different options out there that you can look into.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, I also had the smart speaker as well for that, but there's not much for under 50. Moving up to under $100, that opens it up a little more. You can start getting some, broader things in there. For one, I have the Aperture MC RGB WW. It's not just for anyone. I'd really say someone who's a video creator, videographer, filmmaker, or a streamer could possibly use this. And it's this, for people who don't know, it's like this almost credit card sized LED light that can go basically any color and can connect to your smartphone to change colors. And it's really great.
It's so versatile, and I think you bring up a great point. Whether you're a filmmaker or a streamer, you can use it to light scenes, or you can use it to light yourself. It comes with a diffuser, so you can get some nice soft lighting if you are a streamer. And that kind of pairs nicely with something I had, which was the Logitech C999. Excuse me, the C999, the C992. Oh my God, it's the Logitech HD Stream webcam. It's $100. This is going to get you HD streaming quality. And
for all those Zoom calls that we're now making.
It's true. Whether you're Zooming or whether you are live streaming, I think that's a great option. And this almost dovetails nicely into the other products that are available from, what is the company called? The Elgato. I guess they're a little bit more expensive, so I'll hold on to those.
Yeah, maybe hold on to those until the $250 and under. I also have actually under the $100 price, or right under the $100 price tag, is smart speakers. This is actually where I mentioned it under the $50 for the Dot and the Nest Mini, but this is really, if you want to get someone a smart speaker, which this feels like a cop-out to recommend, honestly, because so many people get smart speakers for presents for someone because it's such a like, oh, you kind of like tech, I feel like you would like this, and it's like ambiguous and broad enough that like no one can say they don't like it because they can probably use it, and it's affordable.
It's a speaker.
And it's a speaker, like, right? And tech companies take full advantage of that with the discounts and the pushing and how many they sell. And really, if you look across like the market share of like smart home, the number one thing that people have in their smart home is a smart speaker, because people are just like, yeah, this is a speaker. You can at least use it to play music. Like everyone plays music. So even if you don't, ask it something or really get into the automation, it's good. But I would say under $100, this year is more relevant than ever because now you have 3 choices this year, because you not only have the Amazon Echo 4th gen and the Nest Audio, now they called it, but you also now have, as we mentioned earlier, the HomePod Mini for also $99.99 or $99. And that makes it a lot tougher, but also potentially if you have someone who was an Apple person and you're like, I never knew which one to get them, I don't want to go, but like now you can actually get a good Apple product for right around $100, and they probably don't have it already.
This is true, and I think Apple's working to work with multiple streaming services, so Spotify should be seeing support pretty soon.
Better integration.
Yeah, and I had those items as well. I'm a big Nest Audio person, so maybe try and feel out what ecosystem they're in before purchasing, but I think all of those are great options. If you don't want something smart, I recommend something from Ultimate Ears. The UE Boom is what they call it. You can typically find those for around $100, or even the Bose SoundLink Color 2.
Yeah, that's it for me for under 100.
Me too. Let's move on to under $250.
Under $250. Why don't you go first for this one?
Okay, this one relates very well. You're listening to a podcast right now using a microphone. The one microphone that I think rules them all is the Rode VideoMic NTG. It's $250 on the dot. And this has so much versatility. You can use it as a shotgun microphone for recording voiceovers. You can use it for podcasting, live streaming. You can even record directly into your iPhone with it just by using an adapter. I think this is a fantastic microphone for a creator looking to improve their audio quality.
Yeah, I would add, I did have this, and this is a great microphone, probably the most versatile microphone on the market currently and for a long time, and you can't go wrong with a Rode product. So would definitely recommend this. However, if it's someone who really is more into podcasting and streaming, this might not be the best choice. So then I would advise possibly going with the Shure MV7, which is also $250. Wow, how convenient. And this one is nice. It's more intended for the podcasting streaming environment since it's a dynamic microphone. But the really great thing is it's USB and XLR. So they can start, still using the plugged in the computer setup, but when they want to eventually upgrade down the road, get an XLR cable, get that audio interface, plug it in, and they're getting better quality audio.
I think we should also just mention a few other products for streaming because I think with extra time on your hands and being at home, that's, streaming's a great kind of hobby to get into. I would suggest looking into the Elgato Key Light Kit. That's $200.
Is it Elgato or
Elgato.
Elgato? Yeah, it is. That's what it is.
Elgato. And they also have a microphone. It's the Elgato Wave 1 mic. This is only $130, so could be worth looking into as well.
I don't know about the mic, but
Well,
all right, that's fine.
Worth looking into,
Okay.
right? Part of their
Yeah,
ecosystem.
naturally.
What other products do you have under 250?
I had an external SSD. Now, this might not be your most sexy gift that you could get someone, right?
It's not sexy, but it's annoyingly useful.
It's so useful for if you have any photographer, videographers in your life, and they'll definitely appreciate it. It's a super fast external drive. Basically, if you don't know, SSDs, solid state drive. It's what's in most computers now, but most external hard drives are still spinning disks. So getting an SSD for someone would be really great for them. It's smaller. I'd personally recommend the new one from Samsung, which is the T7, and we're seeing around $160 for 1 terabyte and $250 for the 2 terabyte model. However, if they're not, super pro type person, you could go with a slightly older model like a SanDisk one or even the T5 from Samsung, and they'd still be super happy.
Yeah, I think that's great. And
The only thing to see is make sure you get one that's USB-C and also has an adapter with it.
yeah. For
Which most of
laptops.
them include. Yeah.
I think it's true. I think most ship USB-C to USB, and it's actually kind of annoying because you'd have to go out and buy the USB-C to USB-C cable. Also, for anyone working at home, $250 is right at that price point where you can get a Chromebook. So anyone who needs it, maybe a younger student in school, and they want their own device for writing papers or doing research, I think that's something great to look into. And I'm also going to bring up some activewear. You could consider getting an Apple Watch SE or Apple Watch Series 3, or even the new Fitbit Versa 3. That's $230 for kind of trying to encourage everyone to get outdoors. I know in New England in the North, it's winter.
I'm still not a huge proponent of the Apple Watch. I've held off buying it for the time being because I know once I do buy it, I'm going to be stuck upgrading every 3 years or whatever. So I'm just waiting until they get that full day or plus more than a day.
I respectfully
battery life.
disagree. I think I get a full day on my Apple Watch Series 3. It's got sleep tracking now. It works perfectly for me. If you need convincing, just go on Reddit, go to the Apple Watch subreddit. There's some wonderful stories in there.
Well, I was just adding that as maybe you want to make sure that the person wants an Apple Watch, and maybe figure out if they want a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or a Garmin or something like that.
Or better yet, if they don't, oh no, it goes back to you and you get an Apple Watch.
I don't think that's how it works. Best Buy and most stores have returns through January 15th for any.
It's very
gift
true.
Spot.
I have 2 more items here. Do you have any others?
I have one more, so why don't you throw another one in here?
Sure. I'm going to throw in a Philips Hue light and color kit. I think that's great. Adds so much aesthetic. The lights can turn on with you in the morning. They can turn off. You can set scenes. They're just so fun to use for anyone who's into tech and smart home accessories.
Yeah, I would. Similar thing, the Ring doorbell security camera and the Nest security cameras right on my mind now because I just had my EV charging cable stolen off our front porch. So that's,
Really sorry to hear that. Yeah.
A little front and center on our mind, but potentially a good gift for someone because security, you can't put a price on it, but you actually can for these. They're around $200 to get them. And, Amazon makes they own Ring. Google owns Nest, so you're buying into an ecosystem potentially. So make sure you know what the person is already in or what they want to get into. I personally think the Nests are better products, but both of them have also expensive subscription plans that go with them. So that's why I hesitate on the security camera thing. And
Yes.
really on any of the smart home stuff, I kind of hesitate too because it seems like a good idea a lot of times, but especially for older people, at least I've had this experience with trying to get gifts for my parents that are smart. Sometimes you can get them a gift and a smart home product and they just don't want to use it because they already know how to do all they need to do and they don't see the advantage of, being able to ask your smart speaker to turn on a light when you can flick a light switch, 2 feet away.
I will say for younger people like me and Gabe, we love them. Those are my favorite gifts.
Exactly. They're great.
More light bulbs, sign me up. We're putting them everywhere. Okay, the last gift idea I had here was a share of a stock of a company they like or maybe interested in. And I think $250 is kind of right around that price. You can potentially get, a stock that they like. And I think it's a unique gift. And, maybe you get a little interested in the market.
I hesitate on this, but all right. I
thought it was creative, Gabe. All right.
I would, yeah, because it feels like, how do you give that as a gift?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really think that
would be
part
a better
through.
way.
But
There are some places where you can get, like, I know from Disney for a while was sending, if you bought through them one of their shares, they would send you a certificate. I actually have one for still 10 shares of Disney. It's pretty cool. From like the 90s or something. My
that
dad
is really cool.
got me, yeah. But
see, it's a cool gift.
But they're not really doing that anymore. It's all digital now, and yeah. So, but it could be a good gift. But anyways, moving on to the under $500 range. I only have 2 for this one, really, but I don't know about you.
I have a bunch. I thought this was such an exciting price category.
I mean, there's so many things you could put in there, but I was trying to narrow it down. Like,
sure,
I was trying to give people essential.
Gabe put a lot of thought into this. So Gabe, let me hear your item. Like, what did you go for here?
Okay, so the first one is gaming system.
Okay,
right?
yep.
We're spending so much time at home. The Xbox, PS5, don't even bother trying to get those. Those are back ordered. If the person really wanted them, they would have tried to order them. So I'm saying Nintendo Switch, only $300, so well within the $500 price range. You could get them a game with it too. And that's if they're more casual gamer, that's a great way to go. A lot of people have been loving it, especially Animal Crossing, and I know there's some new games coming out soon. The other way to go is potentially something more new and high-tech, the Oculus Quest 2, which is the VR headset from Oculus, owned by Facebook, FYI, just in case you're trying to boycott them. But that goes for $300 for the 64-gigabyte version and $400 for the 256. And I haven't actually personally used it, but we had Elle on, what was it?
We had a bonus episode.
Back in July, we had her on, and she works in VR, and she was talking all about Oculus is the way to go, and I think she also got the new Quest 2. And
yeah,
that
was Elena. So it was great having her on the podcast. So I think those are really creative ideas. I was gonna bring in. I'm surprised you didn't mention these, but the GoPro Hero 9.
Well, I did have another thing.
Oh, excuse me.
I didn't. I was going one and then to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna do both of my action cameras.
GoPro 9. Okay.
Yeah, GoPro 9 and the Insta360 One X2. So
see, This is where I was more selective. I said really a 360 camera is the way to go, and I wouldn't go the One X2, but I would actually go the One R with the dual lens kit, because then you can get them a GoPro-like camera as well as a 360 camera, because a 360 camera really is a big jump. Like, if someone doesn't want to do 360 filmmaking, it's not going to be fun because it's a whole different process. So if they want a regular action camera, they're still getting that with the Insta360 One R dual lens, where they can just get the 4K wide lens on there, but then they can also switch to the 360 lens module and do some futuristic stuff.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
That's very smart. I like that a lot, actually.
All right, thank you. That makes me feel good. Well, why don't you throw out the couple other ones you have here?
Sure. 2 more ones I have. A new computer monitor. Again, I think a monitor just really takes your work from home setup to a whole new level. And you can get some really nice LG ones that actually support, they're 4K, they support HDR for around the $400 to $500 price range. And I would also say this is the perfect price category for headphones. The Bose 700 headphones.
Yeah.
And also the ones from Sony, the
Which are way too long.
The XM4s.
It's the 4s on the end. That's all you have to know.
XM4s, yeah, I think
people would a lot of people would disagree with the fact of being under 500 being the perfect price range for headphones. But I see what you mean.
I mean, it's like this is a price category, and those headphones are typically like $350.
Yeah.
So I'm saying they're comfortably within that price range.
I would say I kind of agree that if people, it feels like they usually buy themselves the more regular everyday headphones that are under $250. But this would be more of like the really nice gift you get for someone.
They're superb.
I agree.
I think we have to mention AirPods. Like, those are so popular that throw them in there. If someone wants them, that's going to be a great idea too.
That's the under $250 range for those, and they do burn out in like a year, because I just got my AirPods about a year ago, and now my batteries last like a minute. So
that would be covered under warranty, no?
No, there's no warranty on those. Little Apple fanboy, of course, no.
Shoot.
Yeah, exactly. Built-in batteries, all glued into the board. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Now let's go to the top tier. If you really, let's not equate love with the amount of money you spend someone. But if you do have...
what?
All right. We don't want to get into a therapy session here. But if you do have, the means to spend a little more money on someone, or you do want to spend a little more money on someone, and that's something that in your relationship with them you expect, and, you both spend a little more money on each other, then let's look at the under $1,000 price range. So what do you have up?
I think a new smartphone,
I had this and literally listed as just that, because this is a great, you can spend $1,000 plus on a smartphone, but this year more than ever, under $1,000 is the way to go.
So many great options. We have the Galaxy S20 FE, that's under $1,000. Honestly, the new iPhone 12, the regular one, I think that's $830.
Yeah, I would say the iPhone 12/12 mini or the Pixel 5 are really my two favorites.
I completely agree with that.
Both 5G phones, so you're getting the new speeds potentially if you're in an area that supports it, but otherwise you're still getting great cameras.
Great cameras, great performance, and considering how much time we spend on our phone these days, it's just a really great gift that someone
so true
gets a lot of good use out of.
So true. And if someone does potentially already have a new phone, maybe they already have the 11 Pro from Apple, I would say this year more than ever is the best year to buy an iPad, specifically not the mini, not the regular iPad, not the Pro. Get the iPad Air this year. It's a brand new one. Almost outdoes the Pro for a cheaper price. You can get for $600, you get the 64 gigabyte version, or the $750 version is 256 gigabytes. So, if they're looking to do some more heavy use of it, that's probably the version to go. If they're just using it as like a media streaming device, I'd get the $600 version for sure. And they're great, like pastel colors. It's interesting. So definitely figure out what color they want subtly by kind of like hinting, hey, what's your favorite color type thing, or looking around which other colors they have for tech products.
I will say that the generational difference between the iPad Pro 2018 to 2019, I believe it was very small, okay? The processor jump was minimal at best, and all they added was a LiDAR sensor. So considering that, I would almost recommend looking at gently used iPad Pros, the 2018 model. And if you do jump up to a Pro model, that's when you're getting the 120 hertz refresh rate display, which makes a big difference in how fast the device feels. And you could actually pair that with maybe an Apple Magic Keyboard or something along those lines.
I don't know. I still think there's nothing as magical as opening a new Apple product.
That
right.
That
I don't mean
true.
to stigmatize in like this consumeristic economy that we're in, that you need to get something new, but it's.
You could even check out Apple Refurbished. I think that offers a great experience as well.
That's a way to go.
But
I don't know. The Air feels like more of a fun iPad than the Pro to me personally.
I think the Pro is more fun because you have Face ID.
Well, fine, you have a Pro, so you're definitely.
Well, I just think the Face ID experience is a little bit better than the Touch ID and the power button. That's my only thing.
True.
That everyday unlocking experience.
You haven't used the Touch ID and the power button.
This is true. I'm pulling off of what I've heard from other
And I know
reviewers.
you did make a review on how Face ID was actually worse on the iPhone. So, but I get it. Generally, it's a use case of that with the phone. It's quicker pulling out of your pocket to use Touch ID, which is kind of, we could do a whole episode on this.
This is true, but it's different from an iPad.
Yes. Anyways, what's next up? I imagine you're getting close to the end here.
Yeah, so I think a big thing for me is a new TV. And the reason I'm saying that is first of all, I just had to buy one.
You just got a new TV, and it's a big TV.
It's a huge TV. But the reason I'm specifically suggesting that is, like, my parents, for example, they've had their TV for maybe 10 or 15 years now. It's 1080p. It's, 50-inch panel from Vizio. And now we're at a point where content is starting to get HDR, which stands for high dynamic range. And this is where colors really pop, seams really come to life. And a lot of newer TVs have faster performance and better smart features and streaming features built into them. So I think if you do not have a 4K TV or you do not have an HDR TV, now is such a good time to upgrade to that. I specifically recommend looking at the TCL 6 series TV. I got the 635, and you can also look at the TCL 5 series TVs, but just know the 6 series has slightly better peak brightness for that HDR content to really pop. But yeah, considering this comes in basically at $650, I think it's a really great accessory and will help get you and your family and your household ready for next-gen gaming on games that support HDR, for really enjoying your favorite movies and TV shows with greater color, especially now that everyone's at home with plenty of time to watch shows.
This is your window to the world now.
Yeah.
You can't go out, just look at that TV. They also have a lot of good deals on TVs around this time of the year. But the thing to watch, we've mentioned before on anything that's called a deal, is look at what the TV or the product has been at in the past week or so. There are some great websites that track prices, or just if you have, a couple TVs that you're thinking of getting a person or your family or whatever, keep an eye on it. All right, that's what it is. I know Best Buy and some other places potentially might be offering the fact that if you buy something and then it goes on sale at a cheaper price further in the holiday season, you actually will get that money back. So that's a really cool new thing they're offering. But yeah, I totally agree. TV this year, for the reasons you mentioned, is a great gift.
Yeah, with the new gaming consoles and the fact that we're just all at home now, I think it's super.
Yep.
I will recommend the Keepa Chrome extension. This will monitor prices on Amazon and will actually email you if the category or the product you're looking at hits a target price or drops a certain percentage. And I would also recommend...
Honey does this too, as well. Which
Yep,
you've probably
Honey.
heard sponsoring millions of podcasts by now, so I don't even need to mention it.
I wish we were sponsored.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would recommend looking into is I was going to wait for a Best Buy deal on the TCL TV I was looking at, but I noticed the open box version of this TV was actually really cheap. I think I saved $150 off of a $900 TV, so I ended up paying $720, and then of course added tax was $770. But that's something
And
I would,
open box was basically the fact that someone bought it. I think you said someone bought it,
Yeah.
didn't ask their wife about it, and then had to return it.
That's exactly correct. And the reason they're open box is the TV is often in perfect condition, but the box has been open or destroyed in the
Chucked away.
Yeah, and discarded. So I got a TV. It's pristine, came with the remote, everything I needed. And maybe it doesn't come with like some HDMI cable, but you already have like a bunch of those.
Yep.
That's something I would look into. Gabe, do you have any other
Yep, the
items here?
Last thing I have on my list is the Mavic Air 2 drone or the Skydio 2. I don't know if you can get the Skydio 2, so I'm not really including that. But if the person is more, about drones for the fact that they can film themselves or film themselves doing cool things like skateboarding, biking, snowboarding, I don't know, stuff like that, Skydio 2 is definitely the way to go. That's far more autonomous, far more about filming yourself without having to really touch any sticks. But if they're trying to get into drone photography or videography, you can't go wrong with the DJI drone. I know that we mentioned the DJI Mini 2. It's a lot cheaper at $450, but really the best drone this year, other than the super expensive Mavic 2 Pro from DJI, is the Mavic Air 2, which has that incredible range of like 10 kilometers, 4K HDR video. Yeah, 32-minute flight time. It's insane. This is if someone's looking to get a drone and you can go a little extra and spend $800 or so, get them the drone from DJI that they just released this year, the DJI Mavic Air 2. Also looking to potentially getting them DJI Care, because that's great to cover their crashing.
And it's true. I think everyone does crash a drone at least once.
Yeah, it's not when, or it's not if, it's when.
Exactly. The two other products I want to kind of end on here, for me at least, is potentially a new laptop. Microsoft has some great options. Their Surface Laptop Go is around $400 starting price, and if you upgrade that to maybe $650, you're getting slightly better performance. Surface Laptop 3 also within that $1,000 price bracket. And lastly, I almost can't believe we didn't mention this, but I would recommend under $1,000, you can maybe get a nice DSLR, a kind of entry-level camera for someone into photography, maybe like a Canon 90D or something like that, or maybe a nicer point-and-shoot camera. And I think for anyone who's just starting out in photography, maybe the Sony A6400, something like that, it's great to get a camera system where you can have interchangeable lenses, you can have manual controls, and you can really learn and explore photography. And as someone who kind of grew up loving photography, I do remember getting a DSLR. It was actually the Canon T5i for,
I got the T4i for Christmas.
I think it was my birthday, but just that gift in general really was a huge help for me, and I would definitely recommend considering that for anyone into a creative space or photography.
Yeah, I would second that, actually, that getting a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, really, DSLRs are great because it's such a standardized form by now that they're a lot more affordable and stuff. So getting something like that, you don't even have to break the bank. Get last year's model, get the year before's. All that matters, it's interchangeable lenses. It has, the manual controls and stuff, and it can really expand with whoever you're giving it to as their creativity grows and as their skills grow, and then they can take those on to more advanced platforms.
Completely agree. Once you learn the skill, it transfers with every camera model you get, and the lenses typically do a great job holding their value, so you can often just upgrade the camera body and continue using the lenses you already have.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, though, for our gift guide. Under $2,000.
You know what to get at that point. I mean,
Yeah, I would go Mac computer probably if you're going under $2,000.
oh yeah,
That's
100%.
can't go wrong with
Especially
that.
with these new ARM ones coming out. Maybe
Potentially.
we'll have to see.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add maybe under $250 the new Apple TV if they do release that, or I don't
Sneaking
even
it in
know.
there.
Sneaking it in there, just trying to manifest that into the world. But that is pretty much it for this episode. Let us know what you're getting your friend, or if we left out anything. Well, actually, don't let us know that because that'd be on a public platform and they might see it. But yeah, tweet at us if you think we maybe left something out. We always like to hear what your input is and what your feedback is. Remember, we do have those bonus best of episodes coming out, and if you want to hear them early and get the inside edge on what we think is the best of tech this year, consider supporting us on our Patreon. We'd very much appreciate it, and also keep an eye out for that Mac ARM. Gosh, too many acronyms in this episode. Bonus episode coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening. Please rate us on Apple Podcast. Share this episode with a friend if you enjoy it. You can follow us at Pinch to Zoom Pod on Twitter, at Pinch to Zoom Podcast on Instagram. I'm Stetson.
I'm Gabe.
And we're super excited to be talking to you in the next episode tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. All right. Bye.
What I was going to say is you could check two boxes by giving someone a GoPro, because that's a webcam. So you're getting them a webcam and a GoPro action camera all in one.
I like that idea. Should I be getting a GoPro?
No, you should not be getting a GoPro.
Okay, here's one.
Because I've got you one already for Christmas!
Yeah!